Good afternoon. I was thinking of a good story to be told today, and I thought what could be the best story. So, the best story I discussed with my daughter, and she recommended that I tell the bedtime story which I shared and told her maybe till her 7 years of her age. Maybe that means I would have told more than 1,000 times the story, but it was in my mother tongue, and that I was very comfortable in that. Today I am telling in English. I am not sure how confident I would be in spite of telling more than 2,000 times the same story. This story is basically told to my mother by her grandmother, and like that. It's like a family story for us. It's a very simple story, and the story of a king and his 7 sons. So the story goes like this. So long, long ago, there lived a king, and the king had 7 sons, and then a last tiny, small one. And that boy was very cute and always, wanted to have attention and sought attention and priority. So this one day, the all the sons went to hunting, and for going for hunting, they rode their horses, and the little one rode his pony. And they mounted their horses, and the little one on his pony, and they went into the woods. And the little pony, and he was not able to catch up fast, but still, he rode fast. Right. And then they reached the woods, and in the middle of the woods, they found a small pond, and around the pond there was a lot of meadows and a lot of trees with a lot of like flowers and fruits, and they started plucking some flowers, fruits, and filling their baskets, and they even spotted some beautiful fish in the pond. So they thought of taking some fish back home so that they can have some fish soup. So they caught some fish from the pond, and they put it in the baskets, and then again they rode their climbed their horses and rode back to their palace. And the little one, on his pony, he went. And then once they reached their palace, they put the fish for drying so that in the evening they all could say make some fish soup. And they kept it on dry. They kept the fish on the grass for drying, and then they went for their afternoon nap. So evening they came back, and they just saw whether if they were on dry, fish was dry or not. And then they found that all the fish was dry, but excepting one, that little one caught, was not dry. So, and the little one he started crying and sobbing and yelling, and he was in pain because his little fish didn't dry. So, hearing his cries, the king came and then asked the little one, "Hey, my son, what happened to you? Why are you crying today like this?" Then the younger son, he narrated the whole story of getting the fish drying, and this little one didn't dry. And then the king, he wanted to find out the reason for why this fish didn't dry. So he went up to the fish and asked, "Hey fish, why didn't you dry?" And the fish said, "Oh king, I'm here where your children have left me. See, it is not even water that I could go around. It's on the grass. I'm just still lying here where they have left. Maybe, the sun didn't fall on me. You better ask the sun. He is the person to make things dry. The other things have dried, but I am not dry. So you better ask the king and the sun." So the king went to the sun, and it was almost evening. It was like sunset. So almost the sun was going off to take rest. So the king asked, "Hey sun, stop." But the sun did not even look back, because he said, "No, I cannot stop." He said, "King, I cannot stop, but please tell me what your concern is. I'll address that." And then the king said, "See, your son rays did not fall on this little fish, and this fish didn't dry, and my little son is crying. Why so?" And the son said, "See, I've been working all day long, beaming light across the world, and even trying to get into the small loopholes wherever they are. My light is going. My and maybe, some shadow has fallen into it. You better look around. I'm doing my job, and today is my work is over, and I have to go out. And he went saying bye. And then the king went back to look around what must be the cause, and he found a big haystack around the fish where the fish was. So then he went to the haystack and asked him, hey, hey, why are you here? You should be in the barn. And what are you doing all day here? Then he said, King, I was to be in the barn, but the gardener did not remove me from here. So what do I do? I'm here. If I were a single strand, I would have been flown around. But we were all bundled and kept here and stacked. I can't even move. The gardener has to do it, and he did not come today. You better ask the gardener. So the king had to go to the gardener's quarters to find out why the gardener did not come and remove the stack from there. And so he slowly went into the gardener's quarters and knocked the door, knock, knock, knock. And with a creaking sound, the doors opened, and the gardener came and said, "Oh, Majesty, a surprise! Oh, Majesty, what brings you to my humble home?" Then the king said, "You did not report to work today and remove the haystack from the garden, and that fellow cast a shadow on the fish, and the fish didn't dry, and my son is crying. What is this?" Then the gardener said, "Yeah, I couldn't go because my mother didn't feed me food. So without food, how can I go? So I couldn't go. You better ask my mother why she did not feed." Then hearing all this commotion, the old mother comes out and asks, "Oh king, what makes you come to my humble home?" And the king says, "See, you didn't give food to your son. What happened?" And the old lady says, "You see, my little child is crying. My grandchild is crying, and I could not make food because when he cries, I can't do anything but, I have to tend to him. And you better ask the little one why he is crying." Then the king sat down on his knees, approached that little toddler who was around, and asked, "Oh baby, why did you cry? What happened to you today?" And the little one showed his little finger and said, "Aunt bit me. I'm in great pain." "Oh, Aunt bit you? Why? What did you do? And how did it bite you? Where did you go?" Then the little one took the king to the ant hole and showed, "This is where the ant bit me." And "Okay, I'm going to ask the ant why he bit you." So he went to, stood near the ant hill and asked, Ant, please come out." Then the ant slowly came from the mountain. First they saw two antennas coming out, and then there were two legs coming out, and then there was a small black thing coming out, and then two eyes, and the other legs came out. And after that, the ant folded her first two legs and said, "Yes, king, what brings you to my ant hill today? You are a king. You should be ruling your kingdom, not to come to the ant hill." And then the king said, "No, this boy says that you bit the little fellow's finger, so I just wanted to know the reason why you bit him. He seems to have not done anything to you." And the ant says, "No, this little fellow tried to put his finger into my ant hill, so that's why I bit him." See, if you are a king and somebody comes to invade your home, don't you take care of your kingdom, have a war or do anything? So I have done the same way. I have safeguarded my home. So I just beat him. Who cares? It's a little one or anybody. I don't mind. I had to take care of my home, and I did it. Then the king found a point in it that yes, yeah, you have to safeguard your home. And he turns back to this little kid and said, "No, don't ever go to the ant hole and meddle about it." And because of all this, my little one is crying. And anyway, this is a lesson learned that you should not all meddle with even ants like that. And he took his son and told, "Let's put the fish back into a place, maybe on the terrace, so that there is no other shadow around, and it will dry. After that, we can make a fish soup and have a nice soup the next day." Thank you.